Today I'm going to build my rear 3-link setup, and to do that, I just need to install 8 bolts. So yes, it's true, only 8 bolts go into the rear link setup, so that sounds pretty simple, right? Well, all these parts go into the setup as well. So what I have here are my 3 links, 1, 2, 3. These are what will be the 2 lower links and then the upper link. These are 2-inch diameter by 1/4-inch wall DOM tubing. And then for my 4th link, which isn't called a link for some reason, it's the panhard bar. This is 1.5 diameter by 1/4-inch wall DOM. Let's see. So I've got all these brackets and everything. These are panhard brackets, lower link brackets right here and here, upper link bracket for the axle, upper link bracket here. Lots of parts that need welding and proper placement. Then I've got these Johnny joints. They're pretty strong, I think. The misalignment spacer portion is built in to the joint, so should be extra strong. It comes with a jam nut so that you can adjust your alignment with these. These bungs go into the end of the tubing here so that the joint can screw in. And then I've got these smaller Johnny joints for the panhard bar. Now, I mentioned last time that I had some miscellaneous grinding and things left to do underneath. Well, that's caught up with me. I've got to clean up this frame under here. This stuff is actually kind of non-essential, but down here there's things that I still have to grind off and clean up on this frame to get it ready to attach new brackets to. Now, I took a little heat in my last video for my lack of personal protective equipment, and I know I should do a better job with that because, you know, you can seriously get hurt with all these sparks flying and everything else. Today I'm definitely going to wear my mask, especially since I'm going to be grinding like overhead, and I really don't like getting things in my eyes. And yeah, I'll be careful, guys, don't worry. Haha! So I was down here with the grinder, and I got some spots leveled off for my lower link mounts right here. And then on the other side, right there, you can see. All right, I'm going to take a little break from grinding, and I'm going to get this axle back into position. With the work I've been doing around the vehicle, it's gotten bumped around, and so it's a little out of position. You may remember from an earlier video, I put these lines on the floor that are square with the vehicle. So there's a center line over there, and then lines going across to show me where the axle goes. And so I need to get it this way to get my wheelbase right, and then centered with the vehicle, and then set my pinion angle correct, which will be 6 degrees. And then once it's perfectly in position, then I'll be able to start getting these links in place. And yes, the vehicle is set at ride height, and then I do have the axle set at its ride height. So that is also one of the factors that's already accounted for. And I'll be using these plumb bobs again to get the axle lined up with the lines on the floor. So if you missed my use of plumb bobs last time, not in the last video, but the last time I used them, and you've never used them yourself, you can see it's lined up with the line on the floor that goes all the way to the other side of the vehicle. It's straight. The string comes up, and it's hung with a magnet on the side of the vehicle. And so to get it centered, I just need to center the axle on the string. All right, guys, I got the axle all centered up with the vehicle, center back and forth at ride height, and the pinion angle set. So I am now all set to get these links set up. And now I know what you're thinking. Now, what if you're off a few millimeters? That's okay, because if you recall, these joints have quite a bit of adjustment on them. So we're good to go. So a pro tip I received for making these links was to bevel the end of the tubing. It makes for a much nicer place to weld in, gives a nice shoulder to put a bead into, as opposed to this, as you can see, having this big 90-degree right here. It's just not as nice. So I like this. And just like that, 4 links are born. 3 big ones and then the panhard link. I'm just going to tack these up for now, because you never know what'll happen. Alright, next I've got this pile of brackets to install. These are pretty straightforward. These are just the front lower link mounts, the axle link mounts lower, and then the upper link mount, and then this upper front link mount. This one might be a little tricky because access looks a little tight there, so welding that in will be an adventure. I managed to get these lower link mounts in place on the frame, being held by magnets currently, and so I'll just get these tacked up and we'll go from there. All right, now for that upper link, I just need to put this puzzle together. All right, that little bracket's all welded up. Looking good. Threw a little Steel-It paint in there preemptively because that'll be hard to get to after it's welded to the frame. So I hung my rear links here, and right now I'm going to figure out the angle that they're going to go in. They're going to angle in slightly toward the back, but really not too much triangulation because the gas tank goes right here, so they almost go straight back. So there's not much angle to figure, and it'll be the same on both sides. But the really limiting factor is the gas tank. All right, that's essentially where it's going to be. Again, the gas tank is right here and extends back 9 inches. So that's really a limiting factor. Not much triangulation in these rear lower links. So the panhard's going to have to work hard. Alright guys, time for some math. So the bolt holes on my brackets, my lower brackets, are 37 inches bolt center to bolt center. These link ends with this much adjustment in them, which is where I want it to be, adds 3 3/4 inches for a total on both ends of 7.5 inches. So now I need to cut this tubing to be, let's see, it's 37 minus 7.5, 29.5 inches. I think that's right. So yeah, got to cut these down to 29.5 inches and then put another link end in the ends of both of these. So if you've never done anything with these kind of links before, or making links, just interestingly, and it makes sense, the threads on both sides, on either side of the link, are opposite. So these are reverse threads. So righty-loosey, where the other ones were, you know, normal righty-tighty. So that way when you turn the link, it'll adjust inward and outward on both sides. All right, I've got both of these lower links done. They are super heavy, super beefy. I think they'll be great. All right, guys, did any of you notice what I did wrong with my lower link mounts? On the passenger side, to be more specific. If you saw my mistake, let me know in the comments that you saw me do it. I just went back and fixed it. I had welded the lower link mount onto the wrong side of the frame. So on the driver's side, it's more toward the driver's side, away from the gas tank. And for some reason on the passenger side, I went ahead and put it on the inside of the frame where I should have put it on the outside. So I just ground that off and re-tacked it on there. Good thing I tacked it on there. That's why you do that. Also, I just went under the vehicle and I placed this upper link mount bracket on the frame to see how it would fit. And of course, it doesn't quite fit. It's going to take some more engineering and grinding to get that to fit up there. Now that's not incredibly surprising because all of these parts are just custom parts. None of this is a kit. None of these parts were intended to go onto an FJ Cruiser. So, you know, you just run into stuff like that. And now because it's almost midnight and I'm only human, I need to go to bed. I didn't get quite as much done in this video as I had intended, as I had set out to do, but what are you gonna do? There's only so much time in the day. But I did get these links done. I got this bracket welded up, and I got brackets on the axle and on the frame there. So, you know, not too bad really. Anyways, I'm going to put in some long days come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and try to make as much progress as I can for next time. So thanks for coming along on this one. If you liked it, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already, so I can share new content with you every Monday and Thursday. And we'll see you next time, guys.